Derek had emerged from his garage. Something in him had snapped that day. He decided that he would avenge his mother and their cats. He used his costume-making skills to fashion cat ears out of the bloodied carpet that was under his mom's body, as well as his cat's bodies. However, he decided to surgically attach them to the top of his head. He put on black makeup so his eyes seemed more wider and more cat-like. He stuck metal wires into his cheeks to get the resemblance of whiskers. He filed down his front teeth and sharpened his canines. He decided that he would first go after Shane's two other cronies. The first one he would go after was Marlon Abe. Marlon Abe was a short, balding, fat slob with a neckbeard. Marlon was set to take all-you-can-eat buffets as a personal challenge. He was probably the reason why the supermarket always ran out of chocolate milk every weekend. He also did not take very good care of his hygiene. The locals said he smelled worse than a porta potty on a hot July day. Derek decided that he would play a devious trick on Marlon. Derek had created and placed a fake advertisement for, quote, free leftover food from his supermarket on Shane's front door. Marlon would have to come an hour after closing. Apparently, Shane had already left to probably cause more mayhem. Derek banged on the door and immediately hid behind the bushes. Marlon entered the door shirtless, his fat rolls hanging out and his annoying wheezing coming from his cakehole of a mouth. A smile slowly formed on his face as he ventured back inside. Derek decided to have a little fun before the main event started. He broke into the house and made his way to their kitchen. Derek took the majority of their food and jammed them into the microwave and oven. He turned them on to the highest setting as well as turning on all the burners. Before he left the house, Derek emptied an entire bottle of cooking oil onto the kitchen floor as well as a hallway leading into the dining room. Eventually, black smoke was seen coming out of the windows. Marlon, as well as Derek's other target, Larry Hadley, were seen running from the house. The fire department came, and unfortunately, the kitchen survived. The only thing that was destroyed was the food, much to Marlon's dismay and Derek's slight disappointment. Marlon decided to take a walk to the same liquor store to get some snacks. Derek followed as stealthily as a cat behind. As Marlon was walking, he took the time to make and throw snowballs at him, which wasn't hard given his large size. The locals said that Marlon would have deserved it even without knowing of the horrendous acts he was a part of. Even with the bruised ego and body, Marlon still managed to get his snacks and returned home. Many hours passed and it was time for Derek to put his plan into action. Come nightfall, he had put a sign on the supermarket's back entrance which read, quote, free food through here, first come first serve. Marlon, of course, showed up alone. He was last seen venturing inside. Once inside, a giant plate of food was ready for Marlon. The plate consisted of sausages, hamburger sliders, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, the list goes on, but the supermarket was unable to count everything that went missing. Marlon inhaled his feast. Once finished, Derek stepped out of the darkness. Enjoy your feast, you fat tub of goo? He asked with the attitude of a schoolyard bully. Marlon, still in his slight state of bliss, did not recognize Derek right away. Stuffing your fat face with all that food must have been what your body needed after helping Shane take my mother and our cat's lives last night. Marlon's eyes widened when he immediately realized who was standing before him. With the way Derek was standing in the dimly lit hallway, he looked like a demon straight from hell. A twisted smile on his face, and while Derek's eyes could not be seen, Marlon could practically feel the daggers that Derek was shooting him. The blood from his homemade cat ears was dripping down his face. He was holding onto a mysterious-looking bottle. According to the police, it was prescription-level sedatives that had been stolen. However, it was unable to be determined how and when Derek was able to supposedly take it without being noticed. With hatred in his voice, and with the might of Zeus, He hurled the empty bottle at Marlin's face, smashing the glass bottle and knocking him unconscious. Marlin woke up sometime later, somehow chained to the meat hooks that held the frozen bodies of freshly slaughtered bovine. He struggled in fear only to realize that his hands had been impaled with a separate pair of hooks. The blood, mixed with the ice cold temperatures, made it to where he could not get a firm grip to even try to escape. Behind him were the slow, steady footsteps of Derek. He was holding a butcher's knife.
"What's your problem, psycho? Your mom was already going to die anyway. Her mind would have made her walk into traffic sooner or later. And those mangy cats were on their last legs anyways. We did you a favor."
Marlin shuddered in fear. "Oh, you did me a favor, alright, you fat sack of crap. You made me realize that the other pigs besides you in this city are useless. You made me realize that I had to take appropriate action. And what do pigs love the most? Food. I knew you couldn't resist your gluttonous urges, so I figured why not give you the best last meal of your life. Ha, imagine that. Your fat ass having a last meal." Derek said with a psychotic tone. He then took the butcher knife and carved in Marlin's stomach a crudely drawn cartoon cat. Marlin shouted in pain and agony, which was pleasurable music to Derek's ears. "However, I feel as though leaving you here to freeze would be too good for you. I'm gonna treat this little fat piggy the way we do here with the others in the shop. But first, one last treat." Derek had lowered Marlin to his eye level. With another pair of meat hooks, he forced Marlin's mouth open and jammed a funnel down his throat. He poured a disgusting mixture of old food that had been stuck in all of the garbage disposals, all the rotten fruit and vegetables, meat, fish, etc. Even the rats caught in the traps were turned into the slush that was forced down Marlin's gullet. His eyes teared up as he felt his stomach slowly and painfully expand far beyond its capabilities. Marlin slowly started to choke and aspirate. While doing so, Derek made sure to stare into his eyes. He wanted to make Marlin gaze into the face of the devil he helped create. Once Derek had his fill of watching Marlin choke with his already fat stomach bulging out even more, he raised Marlin back up and with one hard yank, tore the hooks out of his cheeks, causing Marlin to have a permanent smile. Marlin screamed bloody murder. He did his best to say sorry, but all that could come out was a drool, blood, and his tongue hanging out of what was once his cheeks. Derek then turned on the meat grinding machine. With that same devious, twisted smile, he said, "Squeal for me, little piggy." Derek watched Marlin struggle to move. He enjoyed watching the tears from his eyes and the blood from his cheeks paint the floor as he was slowly inching towards the saw blades. And then, Marlin's body was instantly turned into a beautiful bloody mist. The only thing that was left was the bloody chunks of flesh and somehow his diamond earrings. Derek scooped up the flesh pile and the earrings and put them in a safe spot. His breathing now shaking with excitement, adrenaline, and even pleasure. He then decided that he would pay the other one a visit at the local town gym, his next target, Larry Hadley.